What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So today we're talking about Amber Archon Shards, and this will be a video more aimed at returning players and newer players. We're talking about where you get Amber Archon Shards, what they do, and what kind of stats you should be looking for, and what kind of build you should be looking for when you're using Amber Archon Shards. And to give you a quick, initial impression of Amber Archon Shards, they will usually not be the main focus of Archon Shard setups. They're usually a supplement to other things and replacing certain mods on your build that you might have run in the first place. So we'll be going over that today. Just before we get into it, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. Make sure you have the live stream channel as well. We'll be live later tonight with probably some Warframe, doing some farming, or maybe doing some Destiny 2 farming. We'll see what ends up happening. Alright, so Amber Archon Shards are going to be one of the three types of Archon Shards available to you if you have beaten the New War and the Veilbreaker quest. The types of stats these provide are more quality of life and utility focused versus things like a Crimson Archon Shard giving you ability stats. These are more going to be focused around speed and quality of life. And where the blue shards are going to be around being tanky. Remember, Archon Shards are not permanent once you apply them. You can actually give your helmet some bile, and it will be 50% bile to remove a shard. I'm going to remove this one just to show that process. Very easy. Remove this from Nova, put it on another frame if I feel like it. So, as far as the options you have for these shards, we've got maximum energy filled on spawn. So you load into the mission, and with a normal Amber Shard, you will have 30% from one shard slot. Remember, you have 5 shard slots. So if for some reason you really just want to have maximum energy on spawn and didn't want to use the preparation mod, you could technically go multiple slots with energy filled on spawn. I would not recommend it, but it's really up to you. Additionally, we've got energy orb effectiveness from health, or we've got energy orb effectiveness, and then we've also got health orb effectiveness. I'm gonna let you know right now, I have not found anyone that has been using the health orb effectiveness Amber Shard. If you are using the Health Orb Effectiveness Amber Shard for something, let me know in the comments. But I seriously have not found anyone using this right here. It's a pretty weak effect, and the survivability meta of this game is pretty much just go for shield gating or go for damage reduction, massively stacked. And this doesn't really do anything for either of those. Now it does give you more health per orbs, of course, but having energy is going to be more important in most situations. So I'm going to say these first two, energy orb, or energy filled on spawn and health orb effectiveness, don't ever go for those, honestly. Those are probably the weakest effects that we have on here. And as far as what you can do to not use energy orb effectiveness or health orb effectiveness and all of that, we'll go over some alternatives. So the reason I would say don't use the energy filled on spawn one is there's a mod called Preparation. Now, of course, you'd have to run this on your build to get this effect. But Preparation is going to give you an entire energy pool, right away. 100% maximum energy filled on spawn. So this is basically 3 or 4 Archon Shard slots right here. If you're doing a speed run mission, if you look at my Titania loot build, I run that mod Preparation on Titania. And so I'm running blue shards to have overall more energy, not having my energy filled on spawn. It's actually much better value. Instead of wasting some shard slots, I can use shard slots on other things. That's what you should be really looking for if you're trying to make a build, guys. If you want to use Archon Shards, what can I replace on the build? What's a more powerful effect? Energy Orb filled on spawn is not a very powerful effect unless you're speedrunning. This build is meant for 2-minute missions, honestly. So it's perfect for that type of thing. But if you're doing a 2-hour survival or something like that, something crazy, then don't even bother because it's just not going to be worth it. Okay, so we're gonna go back into talking about those shard effects, but if you don't know this somehow and you're watching this video, the way you do get these Amber Shards to drop in the first place, it's gonna be the Archon Hunt, and of course it does rotate every week. And once Citrine's Last Wish comes out, we will have a pity system increasing the drop rate. Every time you fail to not get a good drop, you will eventually get the Amber Tau Shard if you just play for weeks and weeks and weeks. Chipper on Call's Garrison can sell you normal Amber Shards, but it's never going to be a Tau Shard from Chipper, so keep that in mind. And of course, as you can see right now, it's the blue week, it's Azure Shard, so there is literally no possible way to get an Amber Shard on weeks it's not on that rotation. It's an unfortunate part of Archon Shards, but maybe Deviri will give us additional sources of Archon Shards. So, yeah, pretty much if you have them, then you can start, thinking about what to do with them. Continuing on, we'll go over the actual powerful effects I'd consider on these Amber Shards, as, like I said, the first two are not that great. Health Orbs is not the meta right now, and energy filled on spawn can be obtained in other ways that are much more powerful and less, resource intensive. Now we start getting into the good stuff here. You've got Energy Orb Effectiveness. Now, this is going to make it where Energy Orbs are going to be giving you more energy per pickup, and if you remember from way back, this is when one of the lead designers said this is powerful enough to replace Energize. I would actually agree with them, but I'm going to say you want to go one step further. You want to use the Nourish ability from Grendel if you want to use this stat. As you can see, 50% effectiveness with a normal shard, and then plus 25% additional on top of that with a Tau shard. Now, Energy Orbs are going to be very important, obviously, to let you cast your abilities. This is a very energy-hungry build. I have a 100 energy for my fourth ability, 75 for my third, 50 for my second ability, and then 25 for my first. I'll be recasting it constantly because of the Neutron Star Augment. So, I need a ton of energy with this build. If I was going down the route of I want to get energy all the time, this could be a potential option. Nourish multiplies how much energy you get from orbs, and then it also feeds into this. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if they fixed this yet, but it doesn't say in the in-game UI that Nourish works with this. But if you actually look at your energy bar, it is working. So it's a visual glitch saying Nourish does not get scaled by this, but they actually feed into each other very nicely. So if you're using Grendel, maybe think about one of these. It will give you like a good extra 80 energy, I want to say, per orb if you have enough power strength. So very powerful one there. I'd say, though, at most, I would not go overboard on this effect. As you can see on my build right now, I've got 2 casting speed Amber Shards. This is just to replace Natural Talent. The Natural Talent mod gives you 50% cast speed. These give you 25% each, so it replaces Natural Talent on my build. And I find Nova wants casting speed a lot. But yeah, I'd say maybe 1 or 2 of these at most, especially if you're running Nourish. You're going to be getting a ton of energy from orbs, and it can be relatively nice. Orbs do drop relatively frequently. Additionally, if you're having a frame like Protea on your team, someone using Dispensary from Protea, the massive orbs that Protea produces will also scale with this. So I think those give 100 energy per orb. That will feed into this. That's the base it's going off of, multiplying, etc., etc. So I guess one of the only uses for the health orb one is the massive health orbs of Protea too. But at the same time, why are you getting that low health in the first place? So one of the first powerful effects here. But let's go into the actual 2 that I'd recommend to you for the majority of cases. Casting speed and parkour velocity. So casting speed, like I just said, the main use for this is on builds where you would potentially be considering Natural Talent mod, getting 50% increased cast speed. Jam 2 of these, that's a replacement to Natural Talent. Now, of course, there's certain frames where you want to go even above 50% cast speed, where you could jam multiple slots. I'd say the sweet spot, though, is 2 normal casting speed shards to replace Natural Talent. Now, I've gone for overkill on casting speed, put a 3rd shard for casting speed. But honestly, you might want to throw a parkour velocity on here, or maybe even a red or azure shard, because I find all those shard slots just for parkour velocity, or rather, just for casting speed is a little bit unnecessary, because casting speed does cap out. I don't know exactly what the number is, but around 100% casting speed increases when it just feels like it's complete overkill. So yeah, most builds I'm going to be going on with these shards will have 1 to 2 casting speed shards for long casting abilities, such as Necros. Garuda loves casting speed, so definitely jam some casting speed on Garuda if you're going to play her. Just Nova, for example, too. So very powerful one there, but like I said, I wouldn't go for more than 2 to 3 shard slots for casting speed. Now the final one, this is going to be the one that can potentially have some of the most fun. It's going to be parkour velocity. This is actually a very powerful effect. If we look at the other sources of parkour velocity we have in the game, there's not many. There's some Exilus mods. It's an Exilus stat, but parkour velocity affects things you might not even realize, such as roll speed. The parkour velocity stat is going to make it where you can roll further and faster. It's also going to make it where you can bullet jump a lot further and faster too. Bullet jumps can massively increase how much speed you have, and as we look right here, this is a bullet jump increase right here, Lightning Dash, 24.2% for a rank 10 12 drain mod. So already, I believe the Tau shard is around that number. And then for the strip parkour velocity, there's a mod right here. So 1 Tau shard for parkour velocity is basically double the stats of Endurance Drift, a mod that you could potentially run on your build. So like I said earlier, we're looking for powerful effects that we can substitute every here and there. So for a build like this, I've got enough casting speed. I'm just going to go for parkour velocity in the last shard slot so I can move across the map further. I can jump higher up, get to some jumps on some elevations you couldn't actually reach without it. If you were to do it before and after, it is a massive, massive increase. So I'd say parkour velocity, this is one that if you want to go crazy, you have a ton of amber shards for some reason, this is the stat you can go crazy with. Go all in on parkour velocity, and you will be moving really fast. That's actually going to be what I'm going to go for here with a My Tau shard. So as far as my build, I've got 2 casting speed shards to replace natural talent, like we said, and then just the rest is flex slots. I want the parkour velocity to move across the map faster, just jump through my portal, roll, do another portal, etc., etc. It's a duration-focused build, so I've gone for some amber shards in the last 2 slots to get us over 3% duration. That's kind of how you put builds together, guys. Find things you want the mod for. Find things that are, the mod version of this is weaker, the amber shard is actually going to replace it, etc., etc. So hope you guys found this video fun and helpful. As far as frames I recommend these on, I said a couple of them, but I'll just do a quick overview of what other good ones are. You want to be looking for frames that have long casting abilities. So, as I said earlier, Necros, he has one of the longest cast times for any ability in the game with Shadows of the Dead. So right here, I already have 2 amber shards on Necros because this ability, look at how long this takes. It might be a pretty powerful ability, but it takes forever to cast. You definitely want something like that on Necros if you have the shards sitting around. Garuda, she loves the cast abilities all the time, and the cast speed will increase the cast speed of Bloodletting, obviously, which makes you get your energy back. So you cast Bloodletting, get your energy back. Cast Seeking Talons with the Arcane Molt Reconstruct, get your health back. So it's an endless loop. The faster you can do that, the better. So you just want to have cast speed on Garuda. Frames like Wisp actually can even go for shards too, because Breach Search has a relatively long cast time, and it's a pretty popular helmet ability. So if you're using Breach Surge in another frame with the helmet system, consider casting speed Archon shards. Additionally, I've seen another content creator messing with this build. I don't know if they have put a video on it yet, but for Mesa, if you're running the augment called Mesa's Waltz, this means when you can walk around in Mesa's 4 and roll. Hilariously, the parkour velocity shards make Mesa roll extremely far when in her Mesa's Waltz. It's actually kind of faster than bullet jumping in some situations too. So maybe try that out. I have not tried it out yet. In the future, potentially. That's not really my kind of build. I'd rather go for more damage. But for some fun, maybe try out parkour velocity Mesa with Mesa's Waltz. And there's lots of other options too, of course. I believe I had a video with Frost where his 4th ability has a long cast time. So just, if you feel like the cast time is too long, guys, maybe try... What you can do is you can try it with natural talent to simulate what it would be like if you threw it on your build. Okay, let's say I throw on natural talent. This is going to be it's going to be the same exact stats as two amber shards. So you can throw this on here, cast some abilities. Okay, is that good for me? Oh, that's too much. I don't actually want to mod for it anymore. Or, oh, that's just right. I'll do that. I'll take natural talent back off, put that mod back on there, and there you go. Your build's getting put together. So hope you guys found this video. Hope this video was fun, helpful to you. I appreciate all the support, guys. I'll see you later tonight on stream. And yeah, the red video will be coming out soon. The pity system is going to be here in Citron's Last Wish. So get those Tau shards and enjoy. Take it easy. Peace.